What do you do when a protester suddenly interrupts a presidential rally, and instead of getting angry, the president turns the moment into a joke about the protester's mother? That's exactly what happened Friday night in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and the interruption quickly became one of the most talked about moments of Donald Trump's campaign stop for Senate candidate Darline Graham. But the bigger story isn't just the exchange. It's why Trump was there in the first place, and why this South Carolina runoff has become another test of his influence inside the Republican Party. Trump was speaking to a packed crowd at the Myrtle Beach Convention Center when a protester interrupted the event. Security and convention center staff moved the person toward the exit as Trump briefly stopped and looked toward the commotion. According to reports from the event, the protester was wearing a shirt with an inflammatory message, and supporters could be heard reacting as the person was escorted out. And then came Trump's response. Rather than letting the interruption derail the rally, he joked that the protester was going home to his mother and suggested she would scold him because, in Trump's words, "Mom is voting for us." The crowd responded, and Trump quickly returned to the political message that had brought him to Myrtle Beach in the first place. That political message was simple. Trump wants Republican voters to turn out for Darline Graham in Tuesday's runoff, even though his own name isn't on the ballot. In fact, Trump made that point unusually direct. He told supporters to essentially pretend that he was on the ballot and emphasized that they needed to show up and vote. That tells you just how much he wants this race to be seen as a test of his political influence, not simply a local Senate contest. But here's where the race gets much more complicated. Darline Graham is not a longtime senator or veteran member of Congress. She entered the Senate only recently, after her brother, the late Senator Lindsey Graham, died in July. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster appointed her to serve the remainder of his term, and she then announced that she would seek a full term. She became the first woman to represent South Carolina in the Senate. And Trump's endorsement came at a crucial moment. In the August 11th Republican primary, Graham finished first with roughly 33% of the vote, while Representative Ralph Norman finished second with about 25%. Because neither candidate received a majority, they advanced to the August 25th runoff. The winner will face Democrat Annie Andrews in November in a state that has strongly favored Republicans in recent presidential elections. Norman, however, is making the case that Republican voters should choose experience over Trump's endorsement. He has questioned why Trump would back a political newcomer instead of an established conservative lawmaker, while continuing to say that he supports the president and his broader agenda. That makes this race especially interesting, because both candidates are competing for Republican voters who largely support Trump, but they're offering very different arguments about who is best prepared to serve in the Senate. Then there's the controversy that has followed Graham into the final days of the campaign. During a Republican debate this week, she acknowledged that she was not very informed about national security when questioned about issues involving Taiwan and the South China Sea. The comment drew boos and criticism, particularly because her late brother built much of his Senate career around foreign policy and national security. Trump, however, defended her, portraying her honesty as a positive and arguing that she would support the military. So Friday night's rally was about much more than a protester being escorted out. Trump was trying to turn the election into a choice between his agenda and what he says could happen if Republicans lose control. He praised Graham on taxes, immigration, gun rights and military support, and Graham later joined him on stage, thanking Trump for his endorsement and for his friendship with her late brother. She told the crowd that South Carolina is a MAGA country, making clear where she stands politically. Now the real question is whether Trump's personal appeal can translate into votes for Graham on August 25th. The protester may have created the most memorable moment of the night, but the election itself is the moment Trump is really watching. If Graham wins, it could strengthen the argument that Trump still has enormous power over Republican primary voters. If Norman pulls off the upset, it could send a very different message about the limits of presidential endorsements. Either way, South Carolina is about to provide another important test of where the Republican Party stands, and how much influence Donald Trump still has over its future. If you found this update helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Prime Wire, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest news. Thanks for watching.